Hello, welcome. So today we're looking at r/relationships where OP is getting extremely suspicious of the closeness of her husband and her sister. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in listening to today, stick around and enjoy. And like and subscribe, please. Thank you. Okay, so the post title says I 31F think my husband 29M and my sister 28F are too close for comfort. 8 months ago, my sister, 28F, moved back into town. A small backstory: she has not lived here in 10 years as she originally left for college and never came back. We grew apart, we talked maybe once a year, and I haven't seen her physically in 4 years. I've 31F been with my husband 29M for 8 years, married for 3. She has met him twice in the entire duration of my relationship with him. He's a quiet and serious man who only opens up in front of me and a few of his select friends. She was struggling to get a job here, so I thought I'd be a good person and ask my husband if he could maybe help her find a job at his company since they work in the same type of field. Fast forward to current times, they actually work in the same department now. He's been acting more closed off towards me lately, but he claims everything's fine when I ask him what is wrong. We had our traditional family Christmas meal yesterday, and at first he tried to get out of it. This is not something he's ever tried to do, and I was very confused by this. After some convincing, he finally agreed to come along. My sister pulled him aside a few times and they were in very deep conversation, as if the rest of us didn't exist. When I approached them every time, they both would jump a little, and when I'd ask what they were talking about, they would say, a work project that's near deadline. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know what I'd be thinking about that right at that point, because I suppose you don't really want to think that anything's going on with your sister and your husband, do you? I was feeling a little off about their behaviour, but the one thing that got me the most was at one point he got up to go get himself another drink. She was sitting in a chair that was next to the kitchen door, so he had to pass her to go to the kitchen. When he was near her, she put her hand up, reached towards him, and he caressed her palm and lightly grabbed her fingers as he walked past. She looked up at him with a smile, and he looked down at her and nodded his head. As soon as he was out of sight, she turned her head towards me and smirked at me. Oh, so they're just sending blatant signals that something's afoot then, hey? Oh, this feels so icky. Like, it could be something seriously innocent, like they are just like really good friends now because they work together, but I don't know. Something about stroking each other's fingers. Ugh, it sounds gross just saying it, and I don't know why, because it's just fingers, but something about tickling each other's fingers and sharing a glance, and then the sister turning back and smirking feels extremely intimate and purposeful on the sister's part. Anyway, when it was time for dinner, there was a main dining table that seats most of the guests. There was a second table that could seat an additional 4 people. She sat down at the side table, away from everyone else. I got my plate and sat down at the main table, but saw that he sat down at the side table with her. I told him there was a seat next to me, and he told me he wanted to sit where he was at. I decided to join them, and they went from actively talking to each other to just sitting in silence while we ate. This is all very dodgy, isn't it? Yeah, I would probably feel really some kind of way about this as well. And I tend to be very blasé when it comes to like guys and girl mates and things like that. I'm just like, whatever, do your thing. But this is all a bit too intimate, you know? There's boundaries, isn't there? And it's not even a girl mate, it's your flaming sister. I later asked him what that hand touching was about, and he said, it's just a high five. I'm sorry, I don't tickle my friends' pinkies when I want to give them a high five. It's like a good slap. You want to hear the noise. The louder the better. I said it didn't look like a high five, and he said that's all it was. I've never had any reason to suspect him of cheating, but this has me feeling on edge. I've been battling with myself to investigate further. Another thing is that he doesn't focus that strongly when he and I talk. It's always just short answers and light-hearted. They were having some intense conversations where he was hanging on her every word and giving her in-depth responses. Would this make you feel like something is going on? I think for me, I would definitely feel uncomfortable about it. Yeah, I'm not sure if I would immediately go to something going on because, I trust my sisters. I have sisters and I never felt like I couldn't trust them around any guy I've been dating. However, I think if it continued and they were being real elusive about it, I think I'd have to think. I think I'd have to go away and really analyze what I've experienced that night. There were several instances where they were both on the phone, texting at the same time as well, and glancing at each other sometimes. That could be nothing, but after everything else, it made me feel uneasy. TLDR, I am starting to suspect that my husband and my sister may be having an affair, or are beginning to think about doing so. I can't decide if I'm being paranoid or if there's something suspicious going on. I don't know if I should talk to him or her more, set clear boundaries, or investigate further. What are some steps I can take? I think if you're going to make an accusation that there might be something going on, you need some real solid proof first. So, investigating further should always be the first port of call. Obviously, you've asked them what it was about and they've just been real elusive and just brushed your concerns off. Next up, investigate. Down in the comments, Intune said, OP, I'm so sorry. They are having an affair and she wants more. She wants him to choose her. That's why he didn't want to go. This is why she smirked at you watching him caress her hand like they're in a goddamn Jane Austen novel. Go through the phone records and see who he kept texting during dinner. I bet my kid's college fund it was her. Hire the PI, consult an attorney. He's going to try to hide as much as possible since you showed distrust earlier. Do you know what? Going through the phone records is such a good idea because, yeah, then you know that they were texting each other because I'm assuming that's what you're suspicious of. White Fox 00 says, this is a really good answer. This would be my advice as well. Keep your cards close to your chest when it comes to your husband. You want to get the evidence and your accounts in order before you hit him with the divorce paperwork. Yeah, exactly. Especially if you are in a place where they have like fault-based divorces, where if one person is at fault, they are the ones that get hit the most. I don't know how it all works. I've never been married and I've never been divorced. But yeah, I imagine that having all the evidence is very good to have. And then here for T says, yes, talk to a lawyer right away. Yeah, because a lawyer can at least give you some ideas of what evidence you need to be collecting. You don't have to do anything right now, but at least getting your legal eggs in the basket will be helpful in the future if it does turn out that something more was going on. And then on this post, we actually do have an update. So let's get into that. I apologise for not updating sooner. I've been busy getting things sorted out. After my first post on a Tuesday, I had asked my husband if he'd go on a little weekend getaway with me. We went to a cabin up in the mountains. Neither of us had cell phone service. I planned for that, as I wanted to make sure I had his full attention. The first night went fantastic, and I almost forgot everything about my concerns with my sister. When we woke up the next morning, we cooked breakfast together, but he was rather quiet. I asked if he'd go on a little walk with me, which he agreed to do. My goodness, OP, what are you planning to do? Like bury him in the woods? Don't know why, but the way that was worded just sounded really ominous. I mean, to be honest, if he's banging your sister, who can blame you? When we reached the lake, there were some large rocks that you could sit on. We both sat on the same rock and we sat there in silence for what felt like forever. I finally got the courage to bring up the concerns I had with my sister and him, and his face went white. Oh no. Why? Why? Why can no one keep their D in their pants? Why? He admitted to falling in love with my sister. He said that it all started because of how much they have in common. They spend more time together at work than he does with me at home. He said he feels like he can talk to her about anything and it never gets tiring. He said he's never felt more alive than he does when he's with her. And they started having a physical affair in October. The emotional affair began in June after working with her for a couple of months since the end of April. He apologized for hurting me and deceiving, betraying me. They both need to go in the bin. The one that's like blazing, the sin bin. I asked him what he wanted to do about it, and he said that as much as he knows it will hurt me to say, he no longer is in love with me. The most painful thing I've ever heard in my life is when he said that the way he feels for her made him realize that he's never once felt that. Oh, this is horrible. Made him realize that he's never once felt that way for me, even at the time when he loved me the most. He said it's not comparable by any measure, and he doesn't feel right staying married to me. Like, this is awful. This is really just absolutely gross and foul on the husband's part. But the sister, like, he's been having an affair with her sister. So her sister has gone and done that to her own sibling. Like, oh, do you know what? Cheating is bad enough. But people who go and sleep with their family members or their best friends' husbands or wives, I think are like the worst, the actual worst of the worst, you know? We are splitting in agreement that the marriage is over, but yes, I am heartbroken. They have both applied to transfer jobs to a different city with the same company, and he offered to let me keep the house. I told him that I didn't want the house because it reminds me of him and us. We have split the finances, and he is giving me more money than he is taking. Good, it's the least he can do, the absolute cretin. We are getting ready to list it for sale, and I have been packing and doing odds and ends like painting. He said I could keep the full amount of the house sale. New carpet flooring comes tomorrow, and the movers come this afternoon. I found a small house for myself to start afresh. But I know it will take some time for me to not be so heartbroken. Yeah, understatement of the century, I think. Yeah, it's ultimate betrayal from your sister. My sister, on the other hand, is not handling it as kindly as he is, and she is gloating. She even accidentally sent me a photo of both of them where you can tell she is in heaven because she won him away from me. Why do I have a feeling that this is not new behaviour for your sister? She changed her profile photo to a picture of her taking a selfie of herself smiling, very smug, as he is kissing her forehead. I unfollowed her on TikTok because now she's posting videos and photos of them together. Some of them are from months ago, and it kicked me in the heart. Yeah, because I imagine that's when you were still with him. Like, she thinks she's won a prize, but she's won your second-hand goods. Oh, well done, sister. You managed to snag a man who clearly will put it in anything that moves. Congrats. I asked him if he could please ask her to stop, and he said he'd talk to her about it, but nothing has changed. I have removed myself from social media for now, except for Reddit. Honestly, if I was the husband and I saw that she was doing stuff like that, like the sister was doing stuff like that, I'd be like, ew. You've all of a sudden become extremely unattractive to me because you're just a nasty cow. But clearly, he has no morals. My mother is favouring my sister's side, saying that she's not posting those things to hurt me, and my sister deserves to be happy. Your mother is an absolute shit parent, I'm not going to lie. Any mum that's going to sit there and be like, oh yeah, your sister deserves to be happy with your husband, who she was knocking boots with when you were still together. Are you on crack, my dear? Because I think you might be. Oh my god, I've just read the next sentence and I'm angry again. My mum said it's my fault for looking and I need to stop being so petty. Is she for real? My father is taking the white flag and said he'd like to stay out of it. Spineless. He said it's not right what my sister did, but she's still his daughter. He said he won't accept the relationship and he is here for me for whatever I need, but he won't be in the middle of this. I respect his decision on that, and I'm sure it's not an easy place to be in. No, as a parent, I'm putting myself in them shoes. It wouldn't be an easy place to be in, but oh my goodness. Thank you all for your kind words and all the advice that was given. I probably didn't add everything, but my brain is kind of foggy at the moment. Like, yeah, putting myself in the dad's shoes, yeah, of course it's a hard decision to make, but I can tell you something for free. If my kid was even 40 and they did that to their sibling, I would be grounding them. I don't care if they're 40, they're grounded. Thank you all for the kind words and all of the advice that was given. I probably didn't add everything, but my brain is kind of foggy at the moment. Understandable, and you are totally fine. TLDR, my husband admitted to being in love with my sister and having an affair. He asked for a divorce and they are pursuing their relationship officially. Edit. For those thinking that this is unrealistic because it was magically resolved in 18 days, it is far from resolved. They are moving to a different office because he said he feels guilty and doesn't want to be near me. They have not been transferred yet because they can't for a while due to a lack of openings. I worded it wrong, which is my fault. Yeah, like you applied for the transfer. It's the same difference. It's going to happen eventually. Well, you didn't, but they did. I worded it wrong, which is my fault. I wanted to update as much as possible as to try to put closure to this for those asking for an update. Also, I am no contact with all of them except my soon to be ex at the moment, and will be for a long time, if not forever. I will be no contact with him after the divorce. Yeah, I would never speak to my sister again. Considering, again, putting myself in their shoes, I would never speak to my sister again. If my mum took her side, I would never speak to her again. I wouldn't speak to my dad either because he's not bloody doing anything about it. Obviously it's not his job. They are adults. But as a parent, you'd think he'd turn around and be like, you are disgusting. You have done something absolutely foul. Do you know what I mean? They're just letting her get away with it. And again, I feel like this is repeated pattern of behaviour. And then down in the comments, yellow lined paper says, my sister likes to steal men away from other women too. Trust me, it's not going to last. No, I had that exact same thought because she is clearly a foul and horrible person. Your ex is going to figure that out. It's going to take him a while because he's just thinking with the, not with the head on his shoulders, let's put it that way. It's going to take him a while, but he'll figure it out. She's going to become extremely boring to him when the old magic and honeymoon period is over, this whole excitement of doing something that they shouldn't be. That's going to wear off, and he's not going to want her anymore because he's going to realize that she's just gross and petty and probably isn't that into him. She probably only did it because she could, She's going to get bored once she realizes it's not getting to you. I give it 4 years max. I warn men I'm in a relationship with how unfortunate she is. Only one has ever fallen for it. Her friends don't always realize it soon enough, so she's gotten a few of theirs. The best revenge is living a good life. Don't let her see you sweat. Yes, definitely. Just literally move on out of spite. If you can't do it emotionally for yourself at the time being, just do it out of pure spite. Spite is a powerful thing, It'll sort you out. Bright Star of Morning replies, she's going to get bored when she realizes it's not getting to you. I give it 4 years max. She's going to get bored when she realizes she actually got him. What's the fun in that? I give it 2 max. And then Mormonomicon, that was hard to say, 89, says, I give it less than a year. This great value brand Ariana Grande will leave him as soon as OP moves on. Ooh, burn. No, but seriously, and as well, you lose them how you get them. So them pair are going to end up cheating on each other as well. If it does last past the year, which I agree with the last commenter there, I don't even think it will last a year because I genuinely feel like your sister only did that to spite you and not because she's actually all that into him. The writing is on the wall with the way that she did the whole weird finger thing and then smirked at you. She wanted you to suffer. Disgusting. But they're gonna end up cheating on each other. They're both gonna do it because cheaters will cheat forever and ever. And then one day they'll find someone that they really do love that much that they would never cheat on them. And you know what? Their partners will cheat on them instead, and then they'll have to see how it feels. Oh, too bad. So sad. And on that note, I think we're going to leave it there for today. I really hope that relationship goes up in spectacular flames. I really do. I try not to be a mean-spirited person, but some people deserve it. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed. If you've made it all the way to the end, then I appreciate you very, very much. If you'd like to leave a like and subscribe, then that would be great, and it'll help you find your way back here because I post every single day. So yeah, I hope you have a good rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing. Goodbye.